Welcome traders to our midweek technical analysis. So jumping straight into things here, I'm going to go ahead and go over from the start of the week, from Monday to obviously where we are now, which is Wednesday. So if you remember from our post-week market review, the market closed at this area here. We saw price finding a resistance level at this area. However, we did see some lower time frame confirmations that we could in fact see a bullish move. If you remember, we were having a look at this level in particular. We were watching to see if price on the lower time frames ended up respecting this area as a support in which we had seen previously. However, as you can see, indicated by this break of structure, price did not do that. In fact, what we saw was price become bearish and then retest this level as a resistance, indicating to us that we were going to see a bearish continuation. Why does that make us guess that, or what make us assume that we're going to see a bearish continuation? Well, a break and retest pattern is a good example of that, because we have broken structure of a previous support and came back up to test that level as a resistance. If I go ahead and go further in the chart, as you can see, price from this level continued to drop, with price then slowly creeping up through a slow day after the London session opened up on the Monday, and price then continued. We then saw some consolidation upon closing in on that market close time at around 10 p.m. GMT. If you don't know, gold does close from 10 p.m. GMT to 11 p.m. GMT. If you are wondering when the market's open, you can click this little green dot if you are using TradingView, and it will tell you how long the market has left. So with that being said, we're going to go back to our hour one now and have a closer look what has happened for the rest of the week. So as you can see, price ended up catapulting after this level was touched. So we got our break and retest pattern, a successful test of this level as a resistance, and then price came back up to test the same sort of area and then failed to test that level of resistance. Price then dropped all the way down, with price touching around that 3,285 level, with price then coming back up and now dropping back down to test that same sort of level. If you have a closer look here, you can see that price is sort of respecting off of an area. What does that indicate to us? That indicates to us that we definitely do have a point of interest here that we want to take into account. So we're going to go ahead and mark in a new point of interest. As you can see, we have a level here. And if you can see here as well, we also have that same level respected. So we're going to drag our box, indicating to us that we have established a point of interest, a place in which the market is testing at. We're going to change the visibility, and we're also going to change the background to the same color as the rest, just to keep it nice and clean. Remember, you don't want too much noise in your charts, otherwise it may confuse you. Anyway, having a closer look, as you can see, we are actually forming a head and shoulders pattern. Head and shoulders starting here with our left shoulder, our head, and our right shoulder. However, we are starting to see this head and shoulders pattern play out very, very nicely, with price now rejecting off. Eventually, price perhaps could break a neckline of that inverted head and shoulders pattern and then continue on bullish. Let's now go back to our hour one and look overall. So we're seeing price testing at some highs, testing at some points of interest that we have marked in, with price then dropping down and testing a sort of median range level on the lower time frames as a support. As you can see, multiple times we have seen this level test at the same sort of area as a support, indicating to us that this is definitely a significant level that could end up driving price back up to these same highs. With that being said, what are the most probable moves for the rest of the week? So going back to our minute 15, as you can see, we are forming that head and shoulders pattern, and we are now testing roughly at that neckline area. If we see price respect at this neckline area, we will then see price probably drive down, invalidating this head and shoulders pattern and continuing on bearish from this last bullish push. However, if we are to see price break this level, we most likely will see price continue on bullish, touching close to our next point of interest, which is around that 3,355 level. So for a midweek technical analysis, I think we have covered what we need to cover. I think we have analyzed the charts well. We have established that price ended up finding a resistance at this level, continuing on bearish, and is now testing a median support in which price has tested multiple times prior to this. It's going to be a very, very important midweek analysis. Actually, we're going to have a look keep a good eye on what is going to happen from this point onwards. This sort of head and shoulders pattern will determine what we could see for the rest of the week. If we see that head and shoulders pattern stay validated, the most likely area that we're going to come up to test is somewhere around here. We could test the level that this area has tested. We could in fact come back up to this level and test this same sort of level here. We could see price sort of top off at this level, creating another strong resistance. If I was to go ahead and grab a point of interest, you can see that we do have a level that has been tested as both support and resistance. So this level might be an indication for us, or might be a point of interest or key level for us to take into account if price is to drive back up there. But as of right now, we're going to be looking close at this head and shoulders pattern forming on the minute 15, and obviously determining our overall bias for the market for the rest of the week on our hour one. So with all that being said, that is our midweek technical analysis video. Remember, I will catch you on the Saturday, where I will be posting the post-week market review, where I will go from Monday to Friday and cover everything that has happened in gold, taking into account all economic events, any unexpected events as well, and also just normal market structure and price action. So anyway, once again, that's been our midweek technical analysis, and I will catch you in the next one.